Benchmark, the voice of business. Presented by LMD.
On this week's edition of Benchmark, the European Central Bank has confirmed injecting more than €1 trillion into the financial system to avert another credit crunch. Details in our lead story. Then in our feature segment, we turn the spotlight on Suren Gunawardena, CEO of Bharti Airtel Lanka, who offers his thoughts on Sri Lanka's telecom industry. And we wrap up this edition with LMD columnist and market analyst Hasitha Premaratna, who discusses market volatility, the rupee's free fall and foreign investments. That's the lineup for Benchmark this week. Hello and welcome to Benchmark, the big picture business program. I'm Savitri Rodrigo. Global biz news makes up our top story today, and the European Central Bank has confirmed injecting more than €1 trillion into the financial system to avert the threat of another credit crunch. The ECB said in March that 800 private banks lined up to borrow a record €529.5 billion at exceptionally low interest rates in its second three-year long-term financing bonanza. This exceeded the €489 billion borrowed by 523 banks in its first such operation in December, but analysts have been cautious about the effects and outlook, stating that this move would merely buy time and not be sufficient on its own to solve the Eurozone's crippling debt crisis. Standard & Poor's was hopeful of the move, which it says has materially reduced the risk of a liquidity-driven bank failure and averted the possibility of a severe credit crunch and additional recessionary pressure across the Eurozone. It says that the ECB's actions have helped warm up public funding markets from the deep freeze of late 2011, although investor demand remains selective. Nevertheless, S&P also said that the actions didn't address the capital shortfalls at various banks, nor tackle the uncertainty and underlying issue in the banking sector. The ECB is granting ultra-long-term loans at just 1%, hoping the banks will lend cash to households and businesses and also use it to bring down government borrowing costs. Despite the brewing Eurozone crisis, the French are still in high spirits as the federations of wine and spirit exporters announced that for the first time ever, the wine industry yielded over €10 billion last year. Although Europe remains France's principal market, emerging Asian economies like China, Hong Kong, Singapore and Japan are where the principal growth was seen, according to the federation. France's wine industry employs a mammoth 30,000 people. Still in Europe, and Bulgaria and Moscow are aiming to speed up work on a Russian-backed South Stream gas pipeline in order to diversify natural gas export routes. The pipeline will run under the Black Sea to most of southern and central Europe. Gazprom, Russia's largest energy firm with proven and probable hydrocarbon reserves estimated at 27.3 billion tons of fuel equivalent and valued at $230 billion, says it has pushed forward the start of a construction of the pipeline. South Stream plans to ship gas from the Caspian region and export around 63 billion cubic meters of Russian gas annually to southern Europe. Bulgaria, the EU's poorest member country, is hoping to get discounted gas prices under the new supply deal with Gazprom, with an updated price formula that would include spot prices and decrease the direct link to the price of oil. First supplies via the gas pipeline are scheduled to commence in late 2015. Meanwhile, Indian tycoon Vijay Mallya is reportedly holding talks with UAE's Etihad Airways and the International Airlines Group, owners of British Airways, to arrange a rescue package for his troubled domestic airline Kingfisher, which has been hit by a combination of rising fuel prices and high taxes. As a result, Kingfisher has accumulated debts of $1 billion plus and needs an immediate cash injection of $160 million to remain solvent. And finally, HSBC, one of the largest banking and financial institutions in the world, declared a profit of £14 billion for 2011. However, critics who are still in an uproar over the recent scandal caused by the erroneous selling of payment protection insurance are angered by the fact that the 5 highest paid staff at the bank shared pay and perks worth £27.7 million. That's an average of £5.5 million each. Some 192 HSBC staff, 64% of them based in the UK, took home bonus packages of around £1 million each. Time for a commercial break now. We return with Spotlight and an exclusive interview with Bharti Airtel's Suren Gunawardana.